Hello, friends. Welcome back again to our channel, and I hope you have been enjoying our videos and learning from them. So, in today's session, I was thinking we'll give you a business scenario or context of certain things that happened during the project, and this would be an interesting scenario to talk about. So, today we will be talking about a scenario where stocks are currently managed without batches in the organization, and the requirement from that business is that they want to keep all the stock as batch managed. Okay, so for example, they are using some other system, um, let's say XYZ system in their to manage their ERP processes. Now they are moving to SAP. While moving to SAP, one of the things that they have been trying to do in the past and were not able to do it, they wanted to keep the stock as batch managed. Now, currently they're doing without batch, but there are so many benefits of doing of making use of batch while maintaining the stocks. That's why when they're implementing in SAP, they want to keep the stock as batch managed. Now, now it's a big task. So this is an example where I have told you that they currently use some other system. Now they're moving to SAP. But for example, if the company is already in SAP and the stocks are managed without batch, they want to in future make it batch managed. What are the things that you will consider? Okay, because stock is a big thing. You have so many goods movement happening, goods receipts are happening, goods issues are happening, the production continuously making products. So it's not a easy thing just to switch from non-batch to batch because there are a lot of considerations, and I'll talk through all of them. So when this project, suppose this is one of the project that you have to manage as an SD or MM consultant. So what are the things that you will have to do for that? One of the main thing that you will need to do is to do a fit gap analysis, talk to the business people, and understand what are the things and gaps that you have to address. Now, before we dive into that, let us first understand what is the need of having a batch. Why can't we just live without using the batch? So, batch has a lot of importance when it comes to maintaining the characteristics, the details of the stock, keeping a track of stock for a certain area, like if you talk about a fast moving goods and you issue the goods to the customer, and there out of that there is certain goods which are of bad quality. Now, first thing as a company that you will have to know and understand is from which batch that stock went out of quality. So it makes it easier for you to understand. Instead of getting rid of the whole stock, that specific batch will tell you, okay, the material has gone bad for this batch, so it's easier. So batch managed stocks are batch managed in industries like fast moving goods, but also manufacturing industries and different industries they use. So it has a lot of benefits. And that is why we're talking about this, because we want to understand what will happen when you switch from non-batch materials to batch management. Okay, so different modules, and I've just created a sort of understanding how it is happening currently per module, how it will be done in future, and what are the gaps and what are the considerations you will have to consider. Okay, so let's take MM as an example. So right now you are maintaining the stock without batch or expiry date. So when I say maintaining the stock, so whenever you receive goods from external vendors, or whenever you do your own goods receipt between stocks, between plants, you just update it and there is no batch information there. So the stocks are independently managed without stock. In future, when you change it to batch, then the first thing that you will have to do is every GR will mandatorily need a batch number. And batch number has a lot of characteristics and details. So it will ask for expiry date, it will ask for a vendor batch reference if external batch number is also used in maintaining the stock, and eventually the stocks are tracked per batch. So in MMBE, if you notice, if you've seen MMBE transactions before, you see the stock report. But when the stock is batch managed, you will see a batch number against the stock. Okay, so you'll have to do all of that. What are the gaps? So gaps could be, one of the gap could be suppliers don't currently provide batch number, and in future, whenever you get the batch number, either you will have to do communication with the supplier that they can provide, or when it comes to your stock, you assign your own batch number. So it can, you have to consider. Now, the thing is in SAP, which Sharik will show in the system also, in SAP, if a particular material is already in stock without a batch, you can't just switch it to batch managed, that same material. Okay, because system will get confused how to put the stock in future. So it's a big decision to how we address the same material in future in batches. One of the things that you will have to do is a big material master data change also is create new material, same material with the new numbers, uh, and assign batches from start with them. Okay, or you have to post all the goods issue, and there should not be any stock movement, and the stock should be zero before you assign or make it batch relevant. Okay, we will show quickly in the system when you try and change an existing material and make it batch enabled, what error it gives. So Sharik, if you want to share um, the screen, then share it. I will
Yeah,
first
sure.
share my screen. Let me share my
So
screen.
let me show them
Yeah, you
how it
share
will
your
look. Yeah.
screen and then I will share my screen.
Yeah. Okay. So you can see my screen.
Uh, Sharik, was I sharing my screen before?
Yeah, yeah. You were.
Okay, so no, I have to stop sharing to see you also. Let me stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you can share your screen.
I guess now it is.
Yeah, yeah, I can see SAP now.
Yeah. Okay. So if you go to the existing stock, I already have existing stock of this material, as you can see, and under unrestricted stock, it's showing 43. So if I go inside sales view, sales general plant view, my plant sales organization, go inside plant view. So here it is having the option of enabling batch management.
Mm,
Okay. So if you tick that and try to save it, system will throw you this error, right? Or
yeah,
message,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Because the stock already exists, and it will ask you to get rid of the stock before you can clear. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. So it's a very big project on its own. So it would take around 2 to 3 months to get all the stocks from non-batch managed to batch managed. And then what are the thing? Master data consideration, different module consideration, goods issue considerations, and all that. So I'll just come back to my Excel and share again. Okay, so here you see uh, I've just spoken about procurement. Then it comes to production. Now, production planning, when goods are produced and completed, then right now your finished goods are without batch. So you uh, produce the goods, the GR of production is done, and the stocks are moved into some bin where you keep the stock. But when it comes to batch management, then you have to consider uh, production creates batch numbers for that finished goods. Okay. So right now there are no rules. In future there will be derivation rules, auto type settings, MES integration, all that we'll have to do. So you think you now understand how much work will need to be done when you move from non-batch to batch. In sales and distribution, right now you create your sales order, there's no batch information. You create your delivery, there's no batch. You goods issue, it's very simple. But when you enable batch, then for every item that you're issuing out, system will automatically ask you to assign a batch number. Okay. Now, batch, as I said earlier in the call, batch also needs some characteristics details. So, for example, let's take an example of an oil industry. So, when you're issuing something related to oil, lubricants, or whatever, then in the detail of the material, you will have many characteristics of that, like the weight, the density, the whatever oil related characteristics are needed. Those are in the batch. You can't have everything in the material. And then based on the variability in the characteristics, your pricing sometimes also changes. So that is another reason sometimes you also need batch number. Okay, pricing may or may not be relevant related to batch, but batch has other things that you check in the material. Okay, so delivery picking logic will change based on the batch number. Okay, and all the goods issue that reduces the stock from your side will also have the you will be having the visibility to see the stock that is reduced against the batch. Now, when you start your configuration, we can do another video when we show the configuration of batch management. You will have to see whether you want to do batch management against a material or against plant. So when it is against a plant, that means all material for that plant will be batch managed. If it is material, then you have the flexibility to decide whether you want to do it for certain materials, material types like raw materials, finished goods, and stuff. So some are batch managed and some are not batch managed. Okay. And then similarly, you have other, I don't want to get into the details of every single module, but then if you know about WM and EWM, then those are also impacted because all the labeling and barcoding will also be dependent upon the batch label. So when you print anything, a label, and the goods are issued out for that label, or even for storing in the stock, then you would need a barcode which has the batch number in it. Okay. And also there is a finance and compliance cost also, which is essentially you have to track the cost based on the batch level, and you need a decision on split valuation and reporting impact against that material. Okay, so all of these considerations and anything that you have to do, this is just a summary, but when you get into the details of it, then you will see how complex and big it becomes. For example, if you have 10,000 materials, how do you address the stock of those materials? Are you going to create new 10,000 materials, which in future you want to be batch managed? And also the goods issue, the communication with the customers that or vendors that the material part number is changing because you're introducing batch number, so they are used to a certain number, they will have to get a new number. All those things will also be um, considered when you're doing it. But in the end, when the project is over, then everything is batch managed. It makes it easier for inventory, costing, and everything to track it. And also for your own benefit of stock keeping, it makes it much more granular to task and to trace in case of any quality issues or compliances, anything like that. Okay. So hope this gives you an idea when you join a project and if you're given a task and how the complexity has to be handled. And the idea of showing it to you guys is because when you are doing SAP learning, it's not just learning about the module and stuff, it's also understanding how in future the project will demand you to understand few things and implement it. Hope this makes sense. And any question, anything that you think would be a part of consideration when changing from non-batch to batch, please mention in the comments. And if you like the video, please do like and subscribe so that we can continue to make more videos. Anything, Sharik, you would like to add?
No, I guess this is enough for today. So in the next
Yeah,
video,
and
I might, yeah, I'll
yeah, in
show
the
them
next
how we
video
can configure. Yeah, yeah,
we can show in the system the full configuration of batch management.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone, and have a nice day. Bye.